today we're going to start talking about the different relationships lines have with what's called a transversal. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight my title. You want to make sure you have this piece of paper in front of you, that way you can easily follow along. So we've been looking a lot at properties of just angles, but we also have to determine angle relationships when lines are intersected by another line. So if you take a look at this picture over here, notice I have two lines, line L and line M, and they're being intersected by line T. So line T, if I can highlight it too, line T is intersecting line L and line M, and notice it forms four angles. So line L, when line T intersects line L, it makes with angle 1, it makes angle 3, it makes angle 6, and it makes an angle 5. And when line T intersects line M, it makes an angle where angle 4 is, angle 2 is, angle 7 is, and angle 8 is. Okay? So that's how I get angles from lines. So I have this first vocabulary word, and this first vocabulary word says, what is a transversal? A transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines. So if we look at this example with line L and line M being intersected by line T is what is our transversal. It's intersecting two or more lines, and those two lines that it's intersecting form angles where it intersects. Okay? So when we are talking about two lines being intersected by a transversal, we are talking about the angle relationships that those angles formed make. So if I go ahead and I scroll down just a little bit, but I scroll down a little too far, it says we have angles that are interior or exterior of the given lines. So notice this have interior angles and exterior angles. If I scroll up, I have angles on the inside between my lines, and I have angles on the outside, which are my exterior angles. So interior angles just mean they're between the lines. So the angles that are between the lines would be 1, 3, 4, and 2. They're like sandwiched inside. Exterior means outside the lines. So that would be angles 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those are exterior angles. So interior angles are between the lines. Exterior angles are outside the lines. Okay? So if I erase and I scroll, if I can use the right tools, we have a bunch of different angle relationships that we have to talk about. So go ahead and highlight your title. Highlight your border here. And then I want you to highlight each of these vocabulary words. Okay. So we have these angle relationships that correspond between interior and exterior. Okay, so exterior, if I just rewrite this outside so I can scroll up in reference. Okay, so we automatically know what vertical angles are. Vertical angles are angles, and I'm going to try to type this so you don't have to read my horrible handwriting on the screen. So vertical angles, we already know vertical angles. There are two angles that are across from each other and are congruent. Okay, so vertical angles are two angles that are across from each other and are congruent. So if I come back up and I look at this picture, can you give me some examples of vertical angles? I want some examples. So looking at this picture up here, can you give me an example of vertical angles? Well, angle 5 is congruent to angle 3 because of vertical angles. What about angle 2? Angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. And I could keep going. I could say 1 and 6, and I could say angle 4 and angle 8. That's what it means for angles to be vertical, which hopefully you're already okay with. And I just clicked that. So now let's talk about corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, they are angles, not have it in bold, angles that are in the same position of each line. So a corresponding angle, they're angles that are in the same position of each line. So if I come back up and I look at my example, I have line L makes angles 5, 6, 1, and 3, and line M makes angles 4, 2, 7, and 8 with my transversal. If I highlight angle 5, if it will highlight, hopefully. My screen's not working. Oh, there you go. Now it's working. Now it's not erasing. Doesn't like me today, I guess. So if I highlight angle 5, notice on line L, angle 5 is in the top left position, correct? So if I go down the line M, what angle is in the top left position? Well, that's angle 4. So some examples would be angle 5 and angle 4. What about angle 3? Angle 3 is in the bottom right. So if I go down to line M has angle 8 in the bottom right. So those are what we called corresponding angles. Okay. So if we now come over here and we talk about alternate interior angles, add text. Alternate interior angles are exactly what they sound like. They are interior angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal and position. An alternate interior angle, they're interior angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal, and they're also on the opposite position. So if I come ahead and I look at my picture, my interior angles are 1, 3, 4, and 2, correct? So alternate interior angles would be, example, angle 1 and angle 2. Because angle 1 and angle 2, they're on alternate sides, and they're on alternate positions. One's on the top, one's on the bottom, one's on the left, one's on the right. So angle 1 and angle 2 are alternate interior angles. So what do you think about the other pair? The other pair would be 4 and 3. So I can scroll down and I can say angle 1 and angle 2 are alternate interior, as well as angle 3 and angle 4. So we're going to skip and we're going to go down to alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles is exactly like alternate interior angles, except they're not on the interior, they're on the exterior. So they are exterior angles that are on opposite sides of the transversal and position. So if I go up and I look at my picture, my exterior angles are 5, 6, 7, 8. So what do you think are your alternate exterior angles? 5 is an alternate exterior angle with 8, and 6 is an alternate exterior with 7. So if I scroll down, I can say angle 5 and angle 8. And I can also say angle 6 and angle 7. So we have 2 more. So let's now talk about same side interior angles. Same side interior angles are exactly what it sounds like. Same side interior angles, they are inside angles that side of the transversal. So alternate exterior and alternate sides of the transversal, same side interior angles are on the same side of the transversal. So if you look at your picture, which interior angles are on the same side? 1 and 4 and 3 and 2. So angle 3 and angle 2, or angle 1 and angle 4. So then obviously, same side exterior angles, they are same exterior angles that are on the same side of the transversal. So if you go back and you look at your picture, what angles are same side exterior? That would be 5 and 7 or 6 and 8. So I would write angle 5 and angle 7 and angle 6 and angle 8. Okay? So if we look down here at these examples, I'm going to give you a couple numbers, and I want you to tell me what they are. So I want to know what angle 1 and angle 2 are, and I want to know what angle 3 and angle 2 are. So I want to know what the relationship between angle 1 and angle 2 is. If you look at this picture, the difference between the relationship between angle 1 and angle 2 is they are alternate interior. Now what about angle 3 and angle 2? Angle 3 and angle 2, they are same side interior. And I'm okay with you abbreviating as long as I can understand what you're saying. So we're going to skip this one because we've already done that one. It's just like that other one. We're going to go to the last one. And I'm going to put 3 examples down. I want you to try. Angle 5 and angle 4. I want to know angle 4 and angle 8. And I want to know angle 1 and angle 3. So pause this video, you try these 3, and then unpause the video, and we'll go over it. So angle 5 and angle 4, that's corresponding. Angle 4 and angle 8, that's vertical. And angle 1 and angle 3, hopefully I didn't trick you, but angle 1 and angle 3, they're a linear pair. So just because the word linear pair is not in this pretty awesome box that we just made, linear pair is still a very valid angle relationship. So don't let me trick you. So go ahead and flip your paper for me, please. I want you to pause this video, and I want you to do 1 through 8, looking at this picture, and then I want you to unpause this video, and then we'll go over it. So if we look at number 1, angle 1 and angle 6, they're same side exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 4, well, they're vertical angles. Angle 3 and angle 5, they're alternate interior angles. Angle 8 and angle 5, they're corresponding angles. Angle 2 and angle 7, they're vertical angles again. Angle 6 and angle 8, they're alternate exterior. Angle 3 and angle 7. Angle 3 and angle 7. Well, they're not both interior and they're not both exterior. Do they have anything in common? Nope, none. And how about angle 4 and angle 5? Angle 4 and angle 5, they are same side interior. Angle 4 and angle 5, they are same side interior angles. So, notice example 2, it's turned sideways. So when it's turned sideways, some people have a hard time visualizing that. So when it's turned sideways, you can either turn your paper sideways, or you can redraw it sideways, or you can just try to get good at it. So pause your video again, try this on your own, and then unpause the video, and I'll go over the answers. So 9 and 16, those are alternate exterior. 15 and 11, that's a linear pair. 10 and 15, that's alternate interior. 12 and 15, they're vertical angles. 9 and 11, that's corresponding. 9 and 15, they have nothing in common because one's interior and one's exterior. The only time you have an interior and exterior angle is when it's corresponding. When they're not corresponding because they're not in the same position. 14 and 13, hey, that's a linear pair again. And 14 and 11, that's alternate interior. All right? So if we go ahead and we do this very last problem, it's not drawn great. So if we go ahead and we fix it, there's supposed to be a line like this. And that's angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. And that's an R, that's a P, that's an S, and that's a Q. Okay. Angle 2 and angle 3. 2 and 3. So notice angle 2 touches this line and this line. And angle 3 touches this line and this line. So what's the relationship between those two? They are alternate interior. Okay? So if I now look at angle 1 and angle 4, angle 1 is here, angle 4 is there. So angle 1 uses this line and this, oops. And I don't know why it doesn't erase for me. It just doesn't like me, I guess. Angle 1 uses those two lines. And angle 4 uses these two lines. Nope. Uses those two lines. So that's this angle and that angle. Again, they are alternate interior. If we do the next one, it says angle PQR, PQR, which is PQR, which is this whole angle, and angle SPQ, that's this whole angle. So this whole angle uses these lines, and this angle uses these lines. So what relationship is that? Same side interior. And if we do the last one real quick, the last one is angle 5, which is here, and angle PSR, so that's this angle right here, which that angle uses those two, and this angle here uses those two. So if you look at those two, these relationships corresponding. So next class, we get to actually use more than just what these are, but you have to first be able to determine the relationships between them so you're successful.